All right, looks like we are live. So, welcome to Hypnosis Hero, the one and only podcast where you can get hypnotized through the screen each and every time you join up with us every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. Brian and I, my co host, we interview a guest hero. This week we have an absolutely stellar hero that we're going to be interviewing. So before we get to that, I should bring on my co-host, Mr. Brian Bay. There he is.
Hey, good evening, Shawn. How are you doing?
Well, I have about 8 inches of fresh snow on the ground. I'm charging my snowblower battery, and I'm trying to look for my snow shovel. How about that?
How are you doing, Shawn? And you started out, well, with that, I've got 8 inches, and I'm like, oh, and we're demonetized right out of the gates.
Well, I figured we'd get it out of the way.
Yeah. So
And what's 8 inches between guys, right?
in prison.
That's all.
Oh God, what have we started this year? I'm sorry, this week.
Year? We're just about done this year.
I'm like, this is probably par for the course throughout the year, but no, we're going to be seeing a lot of us this week and probably over the next couple of weeks because there's things to be done.
Definitely. The Performing Hypnosis Summit, we've said it a couple times on Hypno News. We've been promoting it for months now, and now is the time. So if you are even considering going to the Performing Hypnosis Summit, definitely book your rooms now before they all go away, and that they will all go away by December 21st or sooner, depending on how many people are booking. And we've already been told, unlike last year, where they gave us a lot of leeway because of our situation and Jim's passing and whatnot. We had a lot more leeway last year than we do this year. This year they were very clear that once the room block is done, the room block is done. So you want to make absolutely sure you get on. I see Gen C is joining us from Winterpeg, which I'm sure is getting as much snow as we are here in York. And if you're not, you'll get it soon. Find your snow shovel and snowblower because you'll need it. It's upon us. Like it seems like just yesterday we were in the planning stages, and now we're getting ready. The schedule has been published. We have guest speakers that are confirming a few things with us, and it's go time. Like I'm kind of excited, Yeah,
it's right around the corner. And as far as the link is concerned, we were talking to Dot earlier, or Susan, and I was like, no, the pricing and everything. Let me take a look at it. And I went through the link and everything, and I'm walking through, and it is something is angry with the electric pixies and whatnot. So I'm trying to troubleshoot that. Our contact down there is out of town, so I was calling all afternoon, but I did not see the email come through saying, hey, call this different number for any things that we need to have looked at. So I will be taking that on first thing tomorrow morning, and I will have some type of an answer. But worst case, call down there, use the promo code from the website, and they should be able to work with you on that. So, but I will get that fixed as soon as possible.
Sounds good. The other thing to be aware of too is they've changed the way that they display their pricing. Before they used to just have, here's your basic charge, and then there were all these hidden charges, taxes and resort fees and everything else that they tack on. Now they just display everything. So
thank you, brand new legislation in California, People's Republic of, an emphasis on the sarcasm and facetiousness. But yeah, it just makes everything look a lot more expensive than it is, but really the prices haven't changed.
Yeah. So the room prices, the discount is there. It's just that now you're seeing what you actually pay for when you get to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, just things to be aware of. But yes, Performing Hypnosis Summit, I believe we're about 42 days away. I know that there's a guy by the name of Grant who is actually in Saskatchewan right now experiencing this wonderful weather right alongside with me. He's said he would be back soon enough and might even be able to hop into the podcast. So if he does, he'll show up a little bit later. And you can ask him firsthand what it's like to drive in Saskatchewan in the middle of winter because it's not fun.
Oh, I heard he's got a pretty awesome car that he's rolling around, and you could, when I spoke to him earlier, you could hear it in his voice, just actually how breathtakingly cold. Because what was the low today?
It wasn't bad today. A few days ago, it hit -40.
Uh huh.
So that would have been Saturday, actually, because I know that because I was taking my son to visit one of his buddies. And as I was driving, it went from like -35, then it went to -36, and then it was -34. And then all of a sudden, it was like -40. Boom. Just like that.
Yeah,
It looks like we have Becca joining us. We have Tasha joining us. Jen is with us. And some guy that has immigrated to Canada.
for whatever reason.
The fuel prices alone are worth moving over here from. I think you guys are like a quarter of what I pay for fuel, so that's pretty cool.
Well, that's Canadian dollars per liter, or I'm not sure how many beavers per poutine.
The system that everybody else in the world uses, Brian.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people line up at the Canadian border to come across into Bellingham and Bellingham, Sumas, and Linden, because they just pop across the border, go get gas at the American fuel stations. But yeah, I was like I was saying, Grant, earlier, I spoke to you on the phone, and I'm not. I may misquote you. Forgive me if I do, but it was, if I'm paraphrasing, you were getting into the car and it was something like, fuck, it's cold outside.
It's freezing. And today's probably one of the warmer days.
Yeah.
It was quite funny that I cleared some snow off the car. And as I've done so, I've opened the back door and some of that snow's gone into the car and gone onto the back seat. But I thought it'll melt away, it'll be fine. Gone, done some driving, got to my destination, looked on the back seat of the car, and it was still full of snow. Snow just doesn't melt here. It just gets
Grant was like,
not
Brian, what the hell am I doing here? I'm not built for this country.
I'm not. Today's mission was I literally had to go out. I've got myself a woolly hat. I've got myself some more thick jumpers, and that is it. But I will say this: beautiful country, and the people are really, really nice. They're like friendly Americans.
So Canadians.
Wait, hold on. Like friend, like as in similar to. Equally as pleasant.
Yeah, some might say.
Oh God.
So basically, what you're saying is friendly Americans. You mean Canadians?
Yes, exactly. I have never, and I'm British, but I have never heard the word sorry as much in my entire life.
Sorry.
Oh, that's the Canadian word.
Yes.
But I think it's second only to the Maple Leaf and Wayne Gretzky. Other than that,
no, we say sorry a lot more than we say Wayne Gretzky.
From what I understand,
in terms of importance, I mean, I didn't want to say that's Canada's bald eagle to Americans, but
from what I understand, and I may be wrong on this, Sean will correct me, because I'm an honorary Canadian now. But the word sorry is used so often that there is legislation put in place that if somebody says sorry for something, it is not a legally binding admission of liability. Whereas in every other country, if you have a car accident and you apologise for that accident, you're admitting liability. But I think Canada has a rule or something on the word sorry.
To ChatGPT.
Yeah, so Jen is saying sorry. I don't think I say Maple Leaf, LOL, or Wayne. She wouldn't because she's from Winnipeg. So for her it would be Dale Howardchuk. So anyway, we digress. So shows are going well, Grant. Things are clicking for you. You
Yeah,
got a chance to see a little bit of what I go through in the middle of winter.
oh, I don't know how you do it.
I
The
was 6 feet
road,
tall when I started.
yeah, the roads are really long here, and the country's very flat, but very beautiful as well. I never realised they made trains quite that length,
Oh, yeah,
and so I was literally stuck at a crossroads for, I would say, 15 minutes whilst the train went past.
yeah, it's a short one.
Yeah, and I kind of thought I've never been stressed to get late for a venue and have to go. Oh, sorry, I had to wait for a train for 15 minutes to pass.
Yeah,
Um, but shout out to Corey J. Interesting working with another hypnotist, but talk about embracing that collaboration. And he's getting his money's worth. He's working hard, and he's got it dialed in on his marketing. So it's interesting to kind of work with him on that. But yeah, he has a very busy Christmas season, and yeah, it's nice to be able to do that. And the audiences are. I'm going to do a little video this week. Actually, I was planning on doing it tonight, so I think after I jump on here, I'm going to do it. I want to do a little video on the difference between those audiences, between American audiences, British audiences, and Canadian audiences. And there's some distinct differences. So I'm able to use more than 2 syllables here in Canada. So that's quite interesting.
So I looked it up. British Columbia's Apology Act of 2006.
There you go. You see,
That was like the dumbfounded look, and I was like, oh my God, he's right. That they have that.
yep. That lets you know how polite.
Can I say BC is a little different. BC is it's kind of like Washington State with a lot more snow sometimes.
Is marijuana legal in British Columbia though?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, decriminalized.
Yes, of course it is, because our prime minister decriminalized it before he left. To date, Katy Perry. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that.
So we've got a guest tonight, and
Yes.
Grant, I'm not sure if you heard earlier. I was trying to talk Dot through the online booking for the discounted rate link for all of the rooms, and either they're doing like some website updates or whatever, but it is all thrashed and gone sideways. So I had a call in earlier this afternoon, and I just saw the email that came in several hours ago to call a different phone number because our contact is on vacation until pretty much you fly home.
Oh,
so we need to get that. I'll take care of that first thing in the morning.
Cool. Well, I mean, an e-shot's just gone out with the push for the booking rooms as well, so that will just add more confusion to
that. Wonderful.
We'll get it started. It's all good. So we should introduce our guest before the show is over. Our guest tonight is a former private detective, a Canadian soldier turned transformational coach. As a certified trainer, I'm going to bring this over here so I can actually read to you guys instead of look off to the side. As a certified trainer in NLP, hypnosis, and timeline therapy, he spent the last 6 years training and mentoring hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners, and coaches with the primary focus on helping them attract clients and grow their businesses. Ryan specializes in helping professionals make sales without selling and attracting clients without reliance on social media or paid ads, empowering them to expand their impact and achieve lasting success. He is the founder and head trainer at the Game Changer Academy, where entrepreneurs become client magnetizing game changers. I'm glad I don't have to say this 3 times really, really fast. He is the faculty coach at Hypnosis Mastermind, manager of training at Guild Training Systems, that's NLP, and a board-certified instructor of NLP, hypnosis, and therapy with the American Boards of NLP and Hypnotherapy. Busy kind of guy. So welcome to the podcast, the Hypnosis Hero podcast. There it is, Mr. Ryan Montis.
Cool. Hi. Thanks for
Ryan, welcome.
How you doing? Hey, Grant. How you doing?
No, Ryan, great to
Good to
see
see
you.
you.
So, Ryan, I got to ask you, Canadian military, which branch, and do you do anything with the Americans?
I was in the Army. I was with the Governor General's Horse Guards out of Toronto for 5 years. I did train at Fort Knox, which is the name of the base is a different name. So whatever base Fort Knox is in, they have some reconnaissance. They have a reconnaissance school there, or an armored school there. And I was there for
Fort Knox is actually a military base.
Yeah, but there's a base around Fort Knox. Like Fort Knox is part of the base, and then there's it's called something different.
Fort Campbell is also in Kentucky, right on the Kentucky-Tennessee border.
Well, I feel like we drove past the gold repository while we were there.
Yeah, because I know Fort Knox is where they do the tank school and stuff like that for armor people.
Yeah, that's where we were. Yeah. Thought it had another name as well, but anyways, yeah, that's where I was.
At Fort Knox or Fort Campbell?
Is it not the same place?
No, Grant's laughing. He's like, all right, the show's gone to hell. We've fallen off the rails already.
Wherever the armored school is, close proximity to Fort Knox, I was there.
Okay. Yeah, they're Fort Campbell, I'd say probably hour and a half away.
Cool.
But no, that's awesome. Good stuff.
That was the limit of my exposure to the Americans while I was in. I was in for 5 years. We did one training up there, or down there, I should say. It was great.
We would get. I was in a special operations unit. We would every December. We actually just wrapped up this year. Princess Patricia's Canadian Navy would come down and do a whole week long of shooting competitions and stuff like that. So they were just great guys.
Yeah. So that's a good unit. They're one of our more famous units, PPCLI. Yeah, they've done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. So we take no responsibility for the armor guys. Those are just weird cats.
They were all right. They had some cool tech that they do good work also.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Shawn.
Well, I'm going to say first off, it's always interesting, and I think I told this on the podcast a couple of times. But where I grew up so I was in Battleford, and so Battleford is as you leave, and Grant will know this because he was through there a couple of times. But just as you leave Battleford heading straight west, you go over the Battle River Bridge, and then there's a group of houses that are kind of out on. So I grew up there. That's where I was. So one morning we wake up, and it seemed like the entire armored division moved in to the two farmers' fields right below us, and it was time for war games. And you wake up and you think, oh my God, what happened? Did the Soviets invade? What's going on? And yeah, we got a chance to sit in a tank, and they're not built for comfort, those things.
No, not really. It is fun when so that was like in your local residential.
I'm sure they came from CFB Wainwright or one of the maybe Cold Lake or something like that. They were on their way through, and they stayed for I don't know about 2.5 weeks. Did some exercises here and there, packed up, and just as they came, they left, and nobody where'd they go?
Yeah. Those exercises, I had to do a couple of those exercises out in the public while I was in, and one of them was I had one scary night one night not because I was really in any imminent danger, but it was the middle of the night. I was in my uniform. We have our rifles and everything, but we're not carrying real ammunition because we're out in public, and we're it's just an exercise, right? But we were looking for the op force, right? And I was all alone, and I wound up having to be stuck on some farmer's driveway in the middle of nowhere. And the media was aware of our presence, and they've been broadcasting on the radio, so the public was aware. Listen, the Army's going to be around. You're going to see people in uniform. But like, does everybody listen to the radio? So I'm there. It's the middle of the night. I'm alone. I'm carrying a rifle with no real bullets in it, and I'm like,
It's dark outside.
it's dark out, and I'm in, and I can see like people moving inside the farmhouse. I'm like, I really hope they don't see me and just like point a rifle out the window, which would be not an unreasonable thing to do if you see a man in the middle of the night holding a gun in your driveway, right? Luckily, I didn't get shot, and it all turned out okay.
No, that's thankful for that outcome.
Yeah.
But so kind of take us through how you stumbled and fell into the hypnosis world.
Yeah, the hypnosis. It was a bit of a slow burn. So I was a private detective before I was a soldier. So most people do it the opposite direction, do military service in your younger years. I joined the Army when I was 29, actually. So I was the old guy on course. So I was doing private detective work for most of my 20s. And the way I got into NLP and hypnosis was I had a really rough go when I was a teenager. Problems with, severe shyness, severe social anxiety, problems with sadness, unpleasant emotions. And my recourse was self-development and personal development books, right? I was afraid to ask for help. I was afraid to do anything other than, mail order a book and start figuring it out on my own. And that led me down the path of, unconscious mind and making changes on my own. And that got the ball rolling. And then ultimately, while I was doing, private investigation work, I had a ton of time alone. I used to do stakeouts. I used to be on the road quite a bit. And so I would listen to audiobooks, and I would listen to like old recordings of Bandler and like everything I could get my hands on. And just learned a ton. By the time I actually took, an NLP practitioner training in 2019, I already knew most of it, right? It was all just kind of a refresher and locking things in, which was great because it allowed me to really take the content and hit the road running. But that was how I got into it, just trying to escape my own problems. And boy, did it work.
Oh, wow. So people think like, oh, private detective, private investigator, it's like Magnum PI, you're in like car chases and stuff like that. And it's like, no, there's an awful lot of just hurry up and wait. And then a couple of friends of mine do that type of work here in the States. And they're like, you're dealing with, missing kids, locating people, and then, also the, spousal infidelity, where it's like, you've got to sit there and go, okay, you hired me to find this out. Now I'm going to go like destroy your family with all the evidence that you paid me to go collect. And it can take a big toll on people.
Yeah. So fortunately, like when I was doing the surveillance work and watching people, I was mainly doing fraud investigations. So most of my clients were insurance companies, and it was probably 95% of what I did when I was on the road was insurance fraud investigations. Little tiny bit of matrimonial and some government stuff here and there, but it was mostly that. Which, it's the old saying is it's like long periods of boredom divided by like sporadic moments of sheer terror, because
and chaos
and chaos, basically. Yeah. So there was one car chase in my whole career. And if I could do it all again, I would not, probably. But
yeah.
There were the moments. Yeah.
And then are you performing?
I'm not
I'm
not a performing hypnotist. So my main thing is, back in 2019, 2020, I started running NLP certifications and timeline and a specific type of hypnosis called Krasner hypnosis. And then I certified enough people, it seems, that, I graduated into business coaching, because they were like, okay, Ryan, we know how to get the results. We know how to do the coaching. It's great. Awesome. How do we get the clients? And so it was just a natural organic progression into what I'm doing now, where I'm an NLP trainer that does more of the business coaching side of things than the actual skills training at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. And then,
go
ahead, Shawn.
No, I was going to say, so in that natural progression, what were you seeing that kind of were the telltale signs that Ryan needs to make yet another jump? Because, you've talked about you in the Army and private investigating, and then NLP trainer, and now here's another kind of right turn, left turn, fork in the road. Which way did you go, and how did you come to that decision?
Yeah, so it was a much more dramatic shift from, ex-military and ex-detective to NLP and hypnosis than it was from NLP trainer to business coach. Like that, they're cut of the same cloth, at least in my little corner of the niche. But going from, my old life to my new life, basically it was still the product of my own personal development, right? So I finished the detective work. I got into the military. I did that for 5 years, and in search of novelty and excitement. During that time, I was still growing. I was still healing. When I came out of the military, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And so what I decided to do was, because I could acknowledge, like, yeah, I've come a long way in terms of my limitations, all the emotional stuff, all the baggage, but there was still more ground to cover. And so I said to myself, well, I've been studying NLP. By the time I left the military, I'd been studying NLP and hypnosis and using it in those careers for about 15 years. I thought I might as well take the darn training, like the actual training, finally, a real NLP practitioner course. And so I did that, thinking that would give me the boost I need to start a business in law. I was going to become a paralegal. And I took the NLP practitioner training, and it really rocked my world. It really opened up my mind and my eyes to what was possible. And it was within that training I thought, well, I love this stuff so much. I've been putting what I'm passionate about in the hobby category for the last 15 years. Maybe I can put what I'm passionate about in the career and revenue category for once. And that's how I made the shift into making, NLP, personal development, and coaching my main avenue forward.
And then where has that portion in your life taken you? Like parts of the world, out of the country, across the country?
Yeah, actually, I mean, so I officially launched, my business as a coach and as a trainer in late 2019. Since then, I've had students all over the world. All of my trainings and coaching I do remotely, so I operate online.
Mhm.
I've had the pleasure of running at least one certification training where every single student in my class was sitting in a different country around the world at the time of training. That was really, really cool. That was really exciting for me because one of the goals I had set for myself was to be an international trainer. And I didn't define what that meant. I just said, I'm going to be an international trainer. And then I had that moment. I was like, I guess this is it, right? I've been invited to speak at, Hypnothoughts, the world's largest hypnosis conference. I'm going back to speak for the third time in 2026. I've spoken at other conferences. I've been invited to speak at colleges and universities. Yeah, it's been a good go. It's been a good go. I've had a lot of fun, and despite that, I'm grateful to say I kind of feel like I'm still just getting started too. Like, lots more ground to cover.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, I mean, to be invited back to speak several times at, one of the major conferences, um, it tells you that you're doing something right.
I think so. I'm fortunate to say that I had some really great mentors when I was getting into the business, some really great trainers. I made a couple of good choices about who to work with and where to invest the resources that I had that really, really paid off, which is why, another reason I'm passionate about people doing that. Are you pointing at Grant? I'm sure he's a wonderful mentor in person. He's not my mentor personally, but yeah.
Then not to discount the captain here, his highness.
I didn't do it. Nobody said you can't forget anything.
Yeah, don't blame me for anything, Brian.
No, you're absolutely right. If you make the right choices and you pick up the right mentors at the right time, business becomes very fluid. It becomes very easy. You can gather some momentum really, really quickly. And you mentioned that you already had it coming out of the gate when you knew most of the training already and just kind of solidified which the last little bit that you needed to. It makes a big difference. It really does. When you can pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about this, and on the other end comes, yeah, that might work, give it a go. Or what are you, an idiot? Why are you going to do that? Walk off the edge of a cliff. Don't do that. That ability that goes beyond, yeah, I knew my trainer and I asked my trainer all these questions and now I have no access to my trainer to, uh, you know, somebody, I know you're connected with Chris and Mike and Pick Those and Timothy September.
Yep.
Those would all be great guys to learn from and work with, and being part of that group, there would be so many things that you would pick up just naturally. But again, looking at a mentor like Mike Mandel, that would be absolutely awesome. There are so many good mentors that are out there, just waiting for somebody to ask them the right question.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think that's a good tip, Shawn. Just I see a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs and hypnotists out there, and it is something I noticed. The ones who are bold in asking for help and messaging the Mike Mandels and and all those folks, often they get answers, and often they get the answers they need. And it's the ones that kind of want to blend into the background, don't want to be bold, don't want to take any risks, and unfortunately, they don't see the results maybe they want to be seeing.
Yeah, I'll go back to when I was at Hypnotize with Jim. I don't know, that was 2022, I think, somewhere in there. And there was a young lady that was very shy, very timid, didn't want to be around large groups and so on and so forth. We kind of, connected, and she came along with me because I knew some of the people that were there, like Scott King and that group, those guys.
Those guys, yeah. I know those guys, yeah.
Yeah, and she, thanked me very much for not ditching her and helping her feel included and whatnot. As of last month, she released. She contributed to a book with Jack Canfield, so as part of a large group book. She's written a book with a bunch of other ladies on just the Canadian context for healers and things that have happened, and she's out promoting it with those ladies, and just an absolutely, I couldn't be prouder of her, as a friend, and it was just because we were able to connect at a conference, and after that she took it and ran with it, got a mentor, from in and around the Ontario area, and is absolutely killing it right now. So can't say enough about mentorship and the ability to multiply your speed and divide the time.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like you mentioned, just going to the conferences and connecting with your peers. Like obviously, mentorship is huge, but
that is the first step. Do you have to go to Hypnothoughts first? No. If you want to try something smaller, there are regional conferences. Michigan, Heartland, Mid America, ICBCH. There would be the Performing Hypnosis Summit, of course, which we talked about off the top. Yeah. If you're looking at getting into the performance or even the presenting side of hypnosis. The Canadian Hypnosis Conference got back on track this year as well. Michigan, can't forget our friend Dan out in Michigan there. There are a lot of conferences that you can go to. If you don't feel like you want to be local, go to Ireland, go to the UK. I believe Portugal is putting on a conference this year. You really want to take an adventure, the land down under in Australia. Yeah, they've got a conference as well. So this conference, the hypnosis isn't this. It isn't this thing that is should be as mystical as maybe it is. It is something that has now started to. People are looking and saying, okay, there's something to this. These guys aren't just witch doctors and shamans and or shame on us, whatever, whatever they call us these days.
I think conferences give you that shop window. So I think I think with a lot of professionals, you get to a certain level where you kind of go, okay, I know how to do the stuff now, but I need to go to the next level. Going to a conference gives you a couple of things. One, you get to network with your peers and understand that actually these challenges that I'm having, other people are having the same things. It's not just me. But more importantly, you get to meet the experts, the speakers, and find out if you do connect with them. Because there's lots of people at certain levels that are fantastic, but not everybody is for everybody. And that doesn't also mean that you have to really like your mentor as such, because sometimes having a bit of tough love, having someone that's going to give you accountability can be the best thing for your business as well. So going to the conferences, you get to have a word with the speakers and kind of go, actually, this person is going to help steer me in the way that I want to be steered, whether that be accountability, whether it be just, encouragement or kind of teaching different techniques or things. But it's a great way of experiencing that shop window, experiencing them as people and finding out if there's a real connection there. And that way you can invest your money in the right people.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Mark Barris is joining us. Mark, welcome. Hey, Hypnosis fans. I'm not sure what that icon is at the end there, but it looks kind of cool.
It seems to be a pirate flag.
Is it a pirate flag? Okay. Does that mean we all have to say R, matey?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know if I can roll my R's that much. It's all good.
There's a parrot somewhere going, Grant needs a latte. Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're right across from a Tim Hortons, aren't you? They have lattes there, sort of.
In a few moments, because I'm going to have to jump off this in a few minutes, but in a few moments I'm going to jump off. I've got a call to make, but I'm going to go to Tim Hortons first, grab a latte, and then make the call.
Are you going to make it across the street? Because it's nighttime out there, and
I'm not going to lie.
It's Canada cold.
I drove here earlier, and I thought I'll come in, jump on this, and I'll go out. And then before it started, I thought, I've got 10 minutes. I'll walk to Tim Hortons. I got to the end of the path, turned around, and came back in. This is nature's way of saying humans should not live in this area.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, it's just for the hardy ones. And of course, it's a dry cold, so it's not like England
Michigan.
where lake effect snow coming off the lakes.
Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna have to jump off now. Ryan, really great to see you again, buddy. Fantastic. And
you too,
Shawn, Shawn and Brian, have a great one.
Yeah,
we'll give you a call later on.
Touch base later.
Cheers. Bye.
I'm assuming that's a penguin.
No, it's a parrot.
It's a parrot? Ah, okay.
It's a parrot, yeah.
Oh, on Mark's comment?
From Mark, yeah.
Hang on here. Oh, yes, you're right. It's a parrot.
There you go.
Okay.
I like those frames, Shawn.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, I of course, you go as you do, and you're looking around for what looks like the perfect frames. I pulled these ones out. Yeah, this is great. And of course the seal, the thing that sold the deal was there's a pair of magnetic clip-ons for sunglasses. Cool. So, and they're polarized. So it is really weird looking out my window, which is already kind of tinted and polarized. And you look at a clock and it doesn't look anything like it normally does.
Yeah.
Like, the hell am I in the Twilight Zone?
Yeah. We know Shawn's not flying.
I'm not flying? Not today. I have pilots for that.
That's what I meant. I'm like, okay, Shawn's not a pilot because they're not allowed to wear the polarized glasses.
I don't even. I with my vision, I doubt I'd be allowed to be a pilot. It's, as long as runway is right in front of me, I'm good. If it's
we'd have you be the flight engineer. You're like, make it so, and
no, I need somebody else to flip those buttons. I'm the one that's supposed to say make it so.
Somebody needs to sit in the cockpit with the coffee cup and direct.
Yeah,
but
that's what I do best. Nobody seems to realize it though. I don't know. I think
With
that was
speed
more.
restrictions in the airspace, I don't think you're able to be like, all right, set course for hyperspace or anything. But
It's okay. We'll get there. Eventually, we'll get there. Um, One of the things that I came across recently, because all of a sudden there's this email from Ryan and it says, "I'm sorry I've been gone." And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, where has that guy been? He took a little bit of a hiatus from social media, and you were
Yeah,
doing work
a,
behind the
li-
scenes.
a little bit. Yeah. So that wasn't just a personal email to you, Sean. That was an email to
I
my
know. It's
it wasn't a direct apology to Sean.
no, I know, but one of the things is that it triggers is, okay, now I got to think. When have I seen Ryan last on social media?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
A few people responded, and the responses came basically in two categories. A few people said what you're saying, like, "Oh yeah, now that I think about it, I haven't seen you on social media lately." And then a couple of responses were like, "Oh, how are you doing it? How are you still running your business without social media?" Because that a lot of people want that, right? A lot like, and in my email, for those that haven't read it, it wasn't just, "Hey, I disappeared and I haven't done anything for the last 2 years." It was, "Hey, I disappeared. I've been working hard behind the scenes with my clients," which is true, right? So the questions were coming in. It's like, how are you running a business without social media? And what I realized was, like, I cut down my social media by posting and presence by maybe 90%. And the plane just kept flying because I'd built, over the couple of years before I did that, I built a pretty strong foundation, speaking at conferences. I was building an email list, as participating in other people's communities. So what I realized is when you do a good job of being, what I would call like a citizen of your niche, somebody that is at least somewhat known, you can afford, I've discovered, at least in my experience, you can afford to coast on social media actually a fair bit. But if it's your only thing, if 100% of your marketing and your visibility is just social media, then you can't afford to not be there. And that's trouble, because hypnotists hate social media. Like, this is like a universal thing that hypnotists are always saying, "I hate social media," right? Yeah.
said Jason O'Callaghan and Alex the Great Hypnotist never. Jason's got a pretty good stream of stuff coming in.
It's not all of them. Like, a lot of people are rock and rolling on social media for sure, right?
Oh, for sure.
If I look across like the hypnosis world, and then I look at the social media, you're right, there are a few that are really doing well on social media. Things are translating for them really, really well. There's a lot of people who are doing some really flashy inductions and whatnot, and dropping people on the ground and things that probably we shouldn't be advertising. Because we don't want anybody to get hurt. But when you look at all of what is happening in social media land, at least from what I've seen, very few of the hypnotists that are on kind of the therapy change side are making great gains on social media. It seems like there are a bunch of them. They're all saying roughly the same thing, and depending on the day and the person, they might get a few more views than the other. And so the question becomes, are we making that much of an impact, or are people kind of watching things behind the scenes and at least asking the question? I think a lot of people would like to think it's the latter, but I often wonder if it's more the former, that the flashy gets the attention, and then the rest of us that are actually working hard to help people in the personal development field haven't quite figured out how to change that message just enough to make it more palatable and get more views, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, but that said, social media, before social media came along, what did we do?
That's what did we do? Or what are we, those of us that are not relying solely on social media, what are we doing, right?
Yeah.
I think the answer to that question would be of supreme interest to a lot of people, right?
We had these things, they were called telephones. They had cords attached to them.
Yep.
And big,
And
heavy books to go along with them.
we had these big, thick books, and you'd call people up and say, "Hey, would you like? I'm so and so, and this is what I do, and would you like?" And you would try and make as many sales as you could, until you developed a list of contacts that you could put in these things called the Rolodex.
Right.
You know, and then you would go to your contact list and say, "Hey, I've got this offer. Who do you think should benefit from it?" And then they would give you the references and the names and so on. I mean, that was sales 101 in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's this expression that I like, and it's everything that is old is new again, because I think it really corresponds to what you're saying, because in 2025, if you're a hypnotist who's just willing to either make telephone calls to leads or publish a phone number and answer calls when people call, right? That is like an easy way to set yourself aside from the sea of hypnotists who don't have a publicly available phone number, who don't answer calls. And if you want to get on a call with them, you have to go into their booking system and, be filtered. And like, there's a big percentage of people that just want to call you, ask 3 questions because they've heard you're good, and then maybe move forward with you. And if you don't even have a phone number you're willing to give out, how are they going to do that?
And it's a phone number is a double-edged sword. It is, because I'm sure you guys have robo dialers up there
in Canada.
They kind of comb websites, and then it's all right. Just start. They sell off the information, and then you get these robo dialer calls where your phone just rings.
well, I've been invited to go camping by a few people. Most of my robocalls actually come from the States.
Yeah. And I finally had to, just on my office phone, had to actually put like something into place where it's a feature with the service that I use, that you can actually pre-record I want to make sure that you're a human, to connect the call, please press, insert button here. And the robo dialer doesn't know what to do. Now, at the same time, I've got the option of a blacklist. So that's a whole bunch of list of just spam calls and whatnot. So after a certain amount of time, if there's no response, it forwards the incoming robo dial to every, like, probably 500 numbers at the same time. So it is probably cut down 99.5% of just the garbage crap calls that I get.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with you. There's stuff that I've wanted to call for people, and I'm like, just let me talk to somebody. I've got probably a 3-minute call, if that. I want to ask this. Okay, how can we move forward? I'm ready, set, go. Or I'm having trouble with your booking system. Can you just... Yeah. We don't need to schedule a 30-minute block of time to get one question answered.
And if you guys think about it, if you put yourself in the head of the highest intent potential client, somebody who's made the decision, this problem must go away as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? They're going to keep calling different hypnotists until somebody answers the darn phone. And if they like that person, they're going to book with them, right? Mm-hmm. But if they say, well, are they going to keep booking consults 2 to 10 business days from now? They might, right? Yeah. But I had one client, one of my clients, tell me he gets a lot of paid clients bookings because, yes, he has an automated lead collection system on his website where it's like, book a time, let me send you information, whatever. But he has an alert on his phone. And the second somebody fills out a form on his website, their phone number comes up on his phone, and he just calls them immediately and says, hey, this is so-and-so. Thanks for filling out the form. I know, I'm sending you info, but I was just curious. Did you want to talk right now? And he said they're always shocked if they answer. They don't all answer, but they're always shocked that a real human being is calling them. They're generally very interested in talking right that moment. And those people who do answer the phone turn into clients reliably and quickly.
Yeah,
Because what I said, those are the high intent people.
Yeah, I remember I was doing sales, and it was like, okay, it's a commission. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to just cold call dial for dollars. And then it's like, okay, you have these leads. Well, where did the leads come from? Well, it came from somebody wanted to have a shot at winning, spinning the wheel to win a widget at such and such an event. And it was like, fill this out. Well, you've paid money for that lead, and you're calling this number that doesn't exist. Nobody's picking up. And I'm like, I just want to work with people who are interested. They don't have to buy today. It's let's come and find out the product or products that I have to offer. If it fits your needs, if it fits your budget, great. If it doesn't, you need to come back later. Like, that's fine. I don't care. Let's just work together rather than chasing people going like, buy my stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and again, that's again seems to be the bulk of, like we said, the bulk of hypnotherapists, therapists. They all kind of treat things the same way, and it can be very easy to stand out.
Oh yeah, it can very much so. Yeah.
Do you guys get a lot of, and there tends to, I don't know if it's just a geographical thing, but Pacific Northwest, mainly Western Washington, Seattle area in particular, nobody wants to talk on the phone. It's, can you send me an email with the information? Can you text it to me? Can you whatever? And it's like, sure, I can do that, but why not have a conversation first and then go, do I even need to bother sending you all the information? And do you ever run into stuff like that?
For me, it's going to depend on the source of the traffic, like how they discovered me. If they're just doing preliminary, like seeing who's out there, what's available. Yeah, that's really common. Can you email me info? And those folks are like often not likely to come back around, but it's for people who are ready to take action very soon. I find they are ready. Like for me, I prefer Zoom because I like to talk face to face.
Yeah,
a lot of people are very willing to hop on a Zoom call immediately. Like even if, and I do that too. Like I don't take a lot of calls anymore because now I have other systems for that. But like I used to just sell my programs via strategy calls. Let's get on a 30-minute Zoom. And if somebody, and I had an automated booking, somebody booked 2 days out, 3 days out. If I happen to be available at that moment when I see the booking, I'll send them a text message and saying, hey, thanks for booking that call with me in a couple of days. I'm free right now. You want to talk right now? Right.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe half are say yes. And the ones that say yes usually buy.
Yeah. It's amazing. I've got something right now.
Yeah. And they're excited, right? Because it's the window of excitement. The most excited a person's going to be to hear about your service is the moment they, make the first reach out and the window closes slowly. And they don't know it, but if they book a strategy call with you in a week from now, they're not going to remember why they were excited to talk to you. And the likelihood of a no-show is dramatically higher. I kind of got away from your question there a little bit, Brian. Like I get what you're saying. A lot of people are like phone averse, but with at least with the people I deal with, the exception is the people who actually are like really wanting to move forward. It's like that. Almost some of them can't talk to you fast enough.
No, it's got to be a geographical quirk of something, because it's really strange. When I worked at a law firm, I could always tell, I'd answer the phone and it's always somebody on the other side of the phone or other end. And it's like, hi, I had a question. Is this the law firm such and such? And the voice in my head is like, yes, that's why I answered the phone. Thank you for calling. Insert law firm here. this is Brian, how can I help you? And, when they're sitting there almost having a stroke, full blown anxiety attack, going like, and I'm thinking to myself, you work for Microsoft, don't you? You're one of their software development guys. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, cool, like, slow down, like, don't have a stroke, breathe, you're going to pass out. But a lot of the younger culture with like your Snapchat and Instagram and everything else, they'll post everything about their life that's going on.
Yeah.
But God forbid you go, hey, let's have a phone call about this. Like adults, they freak out. They just can't do it. And
that's a good point. Now that you describe it that way, and I'm like trying this on in my head, like for me, unless it's something that I'm really, really interested in personally, I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone, right? Like if I need a product or a service that is anything less than 100 out of 100 important to me, if it's 98 important to me or lower, I don't want a phone call. I want to look at your website and be able to buy the thing right there without talking to a person. And I would say it's, if the only way forward is via a phone call, there's a good chance that company is going to lose the sale, because I'm that averse to it, because it just feels like such an inefficient process in 2025.
It's like point and click, but then you want to talk to somebody about your cell phone or your utility bill or something like that. And you're like, hey, I need to get this address now. I need to take 30 seconds to explain what's going on. Have the human factor go, yes, I see how things got goofed. And then, okay, we can point, click, fix this and be done. But it's like automated system. Well, please hold. Well, we've got a lot of call volume, and it's, the customer service aspect. It's all kick the can down the road, which again, a lot of people these days are accustomed to that. So when you call or shoot them a text and go, I've got some time to talk if you want to talk right now, they're just like, oh my God, I'm at the front of the line. Yes, best day ever.
Yeah. So I think, I agree. And I think it is context dependent. Depends what it is. Yeah.
Now, in dealing with clients, have you ever had somebody who is, it's like they're literally on the doorstep of success?
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, you need to take like the last final microscopic little thing that you think is this gigantic obstacle, but it's like you just need to step over the curb and you're fine. How do you get them across that finish line?
I mean, it's going to be case by case. It depends what it is, that's going on. Like when you were asking me that question, and I'm thinking about somebody who's on the brink of success. There's also the type of person who already is successful and doesn't realize they just need to keep doing what has already worked for them. It's like, hey, I've got this client from here. I got that client from there. They were great clients. They, paid the bill and it was a great experience. Okay. Have you gone back to that same place and did that same thing that got you those first clients? No, I haven't done that. I want to try the next thing. Well, just keep doing what you did and you'll keep getting what you got. Right. So, that's
like the get out of your own damn way.
Get out of your own way. That's right. Like I did a guest talk at the local Chamber of Commerce and I got 3 comments. Cool. Have you called them back and asked when you can come do another guest talk? Well, no. Well, why not? Have you called the Chamber of Commerce in the next town over and asked and tell them you did a guest talk at this other chamber and it went well and you want to come do one at theirs? Well, no, I haven't done that. Right. So that would be an example of like, I already have seen some success and I'm not just repeating it when I should. Right. So sometimes it's that simple. It's just like it's in the blind spot. Right. And that was, sorry.
I was going to say, how about somebody who is like, they're kind of stuck. They're like, I want to make the change. I know I need to make the change. I know life will likely be better for me to make this change. Like, hey, I'm starting a business or something like that. But they are so clung to, that G.I. Joe Kung Fu death grip, clinging to what has become not necessarily comfortable, but more familiar. It's like, if I can't let go, it's like, I know that I'm going to feel like garbage and doubt myself even more and just kind of continue to spiral downwards if I don't do this.
Yep.
But I'm too afraid to take that one step for fear that something might go slightly a bit sideways, but all the upside is there.
Yeah. The easiest path forward for that person is accountability, right? And like a combination of either, well, ideally a combination of coach and peer accountability. You take that person that you're describing who sounds like they know what they need to do, they're just not doing it. And they're not going to do it until there's some kind of external forcing factor to create momentum forward for them. And yes, a coach is good, but it's better if that person works in like a small peer environment where everybody has the same goal, everybody's accountable to each other, and ideally a coach or mentor. That's what's coming to mind for me in that situation. What do you think?
Oh, it makes sense. It's, you know, I've run into this a number of times, and kind of the analogy that I make is, okay, you are in a building. That building is actively on fire, but you're like 30 stories up. The fire is coming up the hill. You've got the firefighter on the ladder, and you know, like, okay, if you're a woman, like the firefighter looks like pretty cute. Also, if you're a guy and the firefighter looks pretty cute too, okay, it's better than death. But it's like, take my hand. I am going to walk you down this ladder and bring you back to safety. We've got the harnesses, all the, you know, you get to wear a helmet too, all of that stuff. But you're like, what if it's cold outside? What if I slip or stumble? What if I fall off the ladder? And it's like, well, if you stay here, it's or death. Yeah. And it's like, well, then I'd have to get out of my bed, and I'm comfortable in my bed. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, how do you just, it's every fiber of your being is wanting to just snatch them and just yank them out and be like, go. You know, this failure is not an option. You may hate me right this second, but you'll thank me in, 10 seconds from now.
That's a very good metaphor. I really like that. I really like that metaphor. That is, yeah, a lot of people are in that. They're in the burning building and they're like, well, the fridge is going to go bad if I leave, so I can't leave, right?
Or it's like, I don't want to get off the sinking ship and jump into the life raft because I don't want to get wet. The water's cold.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. 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 I like that. I like that metaphor. I mean, and that's the metaphor for self-sabotage, right? Like a lot of new burgeoning entrepreneurs, that's their story, right? It's the same person, right? They know what they need to do. They know they need to leave the building. They know they need to get onto the ladder, and it's scary. And they're finding every excuse not to. It's human nature, right? It's human nature for sure. Unfortunately.
Oh, you're probably familiar with the American Navy SEALs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And their selection process, the BUDS class that's in Coronado. Yeah. And I was watching a video with Sean Ryan. He's a former SEAL, and he goes, he's like, yeah, people, I get all these messages, what's BUDS like? And he's like, I describe BUDS as like repeatedly getting kicked in the nuts. And they're like, okay, so how do I prepare for that? And he goes, you don't prepare for it by repeatedly getting kicked in the nuts. You prepare for it by, conditioning and all these different things. And so people are like, well, what if I take these little steps? What if I do something different? And I'm like, well, all you're doing is wasting time between now and when you want to achieve your goal. You're just increasing the amount of time that's going to take. Now, with different things like Jim Kellner, where he was saying, hey, I want to do weight loss. Okay, start with movement. Go for a 5-minute walk. Then do a 10-minute, a 15, a 30, an hour, a mile, 2 miles. Ease up to that, because you don't just go from, hey, I need to lose weight, to I'm going to run a marathon, because you're just going to burn yourself out. But, when you're sitting there going all the different things to achieve your goal, none of that's going to change. It's still going to be there. All you're going to do is put all this other extra, what I call kind of like this bullshit effort into doing it. And how do you let these people see the forest for the trees and give them that last bit of confidence to take that first step?
I mean, there's a lot of ways. It's I think it's case by case.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is helping a person identify, because there's a million different avenues forward, right?
Sure.
And I think part of the paralysis just comes from overwhelm and fear of taking the wrong avenue forward. And you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Any forward movement is better than none at all, right?
Yeah.
And if they're just a little thoughtful or maybe take a little bit of guidance in selecting the initial direction, they're going to face a lot less internal resistance when they do, choose to create that forward movement. So I think a little bit of guidance on and here's the answer. Talk to somebody who's already got where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe talk to a few people who've already got where you want to go, hear their stories, and then find the one that sounds the least unappealing. Right? Like if I were to talk to 10 successful, 6-figure hypnotists, I said, how'd you get your first 100 clients? Some of them are going to say, cold calling. Some of them are going to say I went hard on social media. Some of them are going to say I did a bunch of guest talks. Some of them are going to say I found an ad person that really knows ads and I got leads that way. And if I was starting out, I'd think okay, which of those ideas do I hate the least? Let me make that one work. Right?
Yeah. And it's okay, you obviously have to work within your means. And if you don't have the means for advertising, like financial stuff like that, it's sort of okay, well now what do I need to do to get that revenue for advertising? Yeah. But when it's you've got the red carpet laid out for you, and it's all you got to do is say yes. And you're going to get a ton of help, a ton of support, a ton of love from everybody that wants to see you succeed. That's what's it's also frustrating because you see them struggling.
Yeah.
And it's I know where you've been, and I promise you it's better once you break free from that mental prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
But tell us about your NLP trainings and certifications. What's involved?
Yeah.
Any upcoming events, types of things.
Yeah. So, like I said, my main thing right now is the business coaching side of things. So I have a program called the Game Changer Academy, and this is for people who are already trained in either hypnosis or NLP or both, and are looking to step into the identity of somebody who's very successful in making an impact. So in the academy we get deeper into how to do change work, but we also get into business strategy, and we also get into what I call CASP, which is credibility, authority, social proof, and perceived status. This is actually the biggest pillar in the program, these elements, because what I've discovered, and probably you guys would agree, is people who have a high credibility, high authority, high social proof, and high perceived status, it's almost like they have the magic touch. Whatever they try to do for marketing, it seems to work, right?
Yeah.
People who don't have any of that stuff, it's the opposite. It doesn't matter what they do, how much posting they do, how many ads they buy, they're not getting the revenue back. They're not getting the inquiries coming in. So, in my program, it's like I said, it's a lot of people who've previously graduated from my training or graduated from other trainings, and now we're installing those components.
Right.
I do also work with Gill Training Systems in Canada. I'm the manager of training for Gill, where we run regular NLP practitioner training, master practitioner training.
Tell me about Gill, or is it Gill? GIL?
GILL. So yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's Surinder Gill. He's an NLP trainer. He and I met at one of the hypnosis conferences, and now we're working together in a big way. And so I used to run the same certifications: American Board of NLP practitioner, master practitioner. Great programs. Whether you're hypnosis trained or not, getting your NLP prac certification is it was life-changing for me. I think everybody should do it, whether they're a coach or not, or want to be a coach or not. But
it seems like that would apply to so many different aspects of your life, whether it's, I mean, it could be from selling cars, a doctor's office, a dentist. Are you in any other type of sales, real estate, law enforcement, de-escalation? You're, in the corporate world, we're negotiating, various transactions and mergers and acquisitions, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
It's building rapport is a lot of what it sounds like.
100%. Yeah. Like just, learning NLP in a meaningful way. One of the best metaphors for it is it's like an operating system upgrade for your brain and for your life, right? You get better at communication, you get better at building rapport and faster. Yes, incidentally, you'll become more persuasive, more compelling, more interesting, and more interested. And if you happen to be coaching other people, or you happen to be a hypnotist in the business of hypnosis, it's going to make you much better at those things as well. So yeah,
it's like a happy little accident.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for NLP training, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I always try and describe it, especially when I'm talking to people who are just newly wanting to look at hypnosis. Think of hypnosis like a house. That framework is there, but in each of those rooms is something that hypnosis borrows from. So the living room might be NLP, and the kitchen might be CBT, and so on and so on and so on. And for every room, there's likely some little piece of psychology or coaching that has been plugged into hypnosis, and a hypnotist has taken it to to another level or to an extreme, and created their own protocol with it or something along the line. But it all meshes together inside that framework.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's a great way to put it. Yeah, I like that.
And then I know you said you did a lot of your business coaching one-on-one and remote. On the NLP side, is there group stuff that's going on? Are there training courses that are coming up that we can discuss or help promote in any way?
Yeah. Well, so I mean, the main thing is, like I said, is the Game Changer Academy. That's my flagship program. It's a small group program. It is remote and live with me. So I do have, for talking about promoting, one of my favorite strategies for hypnotists and coaches to grow their business is by audience sharing and audience leveraging, right? Not too dissimilar from what we're doing right now, where you invite me to your podcast, and therefore all my fans are going to check out this episode of the podcast and see you guys, and all your audience are going to see me. I actually have a system called the Adopt an Audience model, which teaches people how to do that, teaches people how to get opportunities to be a guest speaker, oftentimes remotely by Zoom, so they can do it right from their home. And that's a free boot camp that I have. So people want to check that out. I've got a special link just for you guys. And that leads, if people are interested in the higher program, the Game Changer, it leads to that. And in terms of the NLP certifications, yes, we run our certifications in Canada locally. We also have online certifications. We have dates throughout the coming year. So yeah, the people can reach out to me and I can get them set up quite easily.
Oh, beautiful.
It's actually a great deal for Americans. We have a lot of Americans come up to Canada for the training, because with the exchange rate,
your words, not mine.
Yeah, it winds up, it really works in their favor, even with the cost of coming up in the hotel. And we have really good quality training, I must say.
I thought you were going to say poutine.
And we have really good quality poutine close by to the training hotel. Yeah, that's true, actually.
See, it's everywhere, Brian.
Yeah.
I did arrange for you guys a special link so people can access my boot camp for free. Your audience can access it for free.
Is that the AAA boot camp?
That's the AAA boot camp. Yeah. So
Okay.
if they go to ryanmontis.com/hero, ryanmontis.com/hero, they can get access for free, and they'll get one extra bonus as well for free.
Oh, wow.
ryanmontis.com/
So it's the
/hero.
it says grab the AAA boot camp and 7 secrets bonus.
Yep, that's it. That's just for your audience there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was so excited to be on the podcast. I made a custom thing just for your folks.
Ah, okay. And emailed.
Yeah.
There we go. So ryanmontis.com/hero and Ryan's AAA Bootcamp special and bonus.
Yeah. So they can check that out. That's a strategy that, people really need to be implementing in 2026. It's simple to learn. It's simple to execute. So check out the bootcamp for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of give us a sneak preview on it.
You want me to tell you a little bit about it?
Yeah, we would love to hear about it.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was
you have full permission to brag and all that stuff. That's why we're here. We want to learn about it.
Cool. Well, yeah. So the story goes like this. I started my business, in 2019, and in 2020, I went really hard with social media, and I grew my business that way. I got lots of students. I certified people in NLP. I certified people as hypnotists. I had lots of coaching clients. And the vast majority of them came through social media, especially for those first couple of years. But also what came through social media was connecting with other people in the community, connecting with people like yourselves and other hypnotists, other trainers, other people who had audiences. Yeah. And after not too long, I started getting invitations. I started getting invitations to be on podcasts. I started getting invitations to be a guest speaker. I started getting invitations to be a guest trainer, in people's masterminds. And what I realized was, coming in to somebody else's community and being in front of somebody else's curated audience and being introduced by the person who owns that audience resulted in more sales much more quickly and much more easily than nearly anything I could do on social media. Mm-hmm. There was one particular event that happened. I came in, I did a guest talk, and it was like a 90-minute presentation. I just taught something, but I got a warm introduction to an audience that just happened to be full of people who fit, the niche of who I serve. And at the end of that presentation, this was a few years ago now, at the end of that presentation, I said, by the way, I had a program at the time, that people could just go to a website and sign up for. By the way, I have this program. If you're interested in it, go sign up. And I had 47 brand new clients within 12 hours. I had 47 brand new clients within 12 hours from the one presentation. Signed up and paid. And that was just within the first 12 hours. It kept going after that. And that was like more than I'd had in several months, right? And then I kept repeating that process, and I realized, there's a simple formula here where you can create a win-win-win arrangement with, somebody who has a pre-existing curated group, get in front of their group, you get access to their audience gets value from you make the audience owner look great because you rock it for their audience. And then the people that are in that audience, they go from not knowing you to trusting you highly in one day or less. And if they like what you're selling, they're going to buy it, right? And so my message to hypnotists, coaches, and entrepreneurs is do this once a week. And you'll forget about social media, potentially. You'll forget about a lot of the other tedium. And that's the secret. That's why that email went out, that Shawn was talking about, where, how did I disappear from social media for 18 months and business is better than ever? Well, you'll find out in the AAA Bootcamp. How's that for a teaser?
Oh,
I love it.
Hook, line, and sinker right there.
Yeah.
But you'll find out.
Glad this is being recorded. That was just off the top of my head, but it is true. It is true.
Yeah, no, that's good, and you know, again, there are a lot of different ways to step up and do business in a way that is a still human, and b sets you apart from everybody else, and so yeah, definitely take advantage of what Ryan is offering because he's done it. He's been there, and I can attest to this because once I got the email saying, "I'm sorry, I've been away from social media for a while," and I'm thinking to myself, "Well, yeah, where did he go?" Again, it wasn't that he wasn't doing anything or that he stepped away because of he stepped away because he was busy.
Yeah.
And he was busy because he developed the right strategies to continuously get new people coming into his program. So,
Actually, real quick,
yeah,
question for Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you want this just limited to the people that are watching on YouTube, or do you want me to put this in, put the link that you created on the Facebook side?
You can put it anywhere where you have an
Okay.
audience. It's totally cool with me. Yeah. The
Awesome.
RyanMontis.com/hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
All good. I have the boot camp is automated. So yeah, if it's your people, they heard about it through the podcast or whatever, they can come in.
Okay.
It's no problem at all. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And there's one other bonus. You guys remember I mentioned, the importance of like even the AAA model, AAA boot camp, as powerful as it is, it's still a marketing strategy. And if you don't have credibility, authority, social proof, and perceived status, it's not going to work for you. So the other bonus I'm going to give to your folks, again, this is free. I'm actually working on it right now. I'm creating a mini training that dives into how to accelerate, your demonstrated credibility, authority, social proof, and perceived status. I'm going to have that ready in the next couple of days. So don't worry. You don't have as long as you put your email in once, ryanmontis.com/hero. As soon as that mini training is done, I'm going to send it to everybody who asked for it. You'll get it automatically. So that's the other big piece of the puzzle.
nice.
Yeah.
So we'll say it again one more time: ryanmontis.com/hero, because I know TikTok doesn't necessarily like us posting links and whatnot in there, especially during a live. Which I've tried it a couple of times, and they unceremoniously said, "We're not publishing that." Did you put the link in? We're not seeing it. So in a live, it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
but there's ways around that. We can definitely do just a straight up TikTok photo with the URL in it and explain a little bit more about it after the fact, which is coming up pretty quick actually, because we've been on now for almost an hour and a half. And I posted in both chats, friend or frenemy. I think I might have alluded to this when we were talking, Ryan, that we have a question that we ask everybody. And there is only one right answer, but even if you give us the wrong answer, we'll like you anyway. So if it's the right answer,
for your damn no.
if you're a friend, that's awesome. If not, then you're a frenemy, and we still like you.
Cool.
Yeah, and we got a vote of confidence here on TikTok. Rare to catch the opportunity, but it's great to follow the broadcast. Absolutely, we're on every second and fourth Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern. And I do try to put out as many videos as I can ahead of that, because I know TikTok is always, people are looking for new and different things, and we are certainly that. So, okay, so all of that said, we should ask the question. Is it my turn or is it your turn, Brian?
I can take this one.
Okay.
So, on behalf of all of our listeners, and again, this is not, oh, well, if it's out there, for context, you are standing in front of the counter, you are on the telephone, you are online, you are ordering pizza.
Yeah.
Does pineapple belong on pizza for you? Yes or no?
It surely does. I love pineapple on pizza. So
that makes you a friend of me, and being being where you are in Canada, you're probably close to the birthplace of ham and pineapple pizza. Um, Oakville, I think it was.
Was it Oakville? Oh, cool. Yeah, I grew up in Mississauga, next town
Yeah,
over.
yeah. So I totally get it. That was the birthplace of the quote unquote Hawaiian pizza was actually Canada.
Yeah. So both of you are anti pineapple.
Well, it turns the pizza slimy.
Wow. So when did you guys choose to be wrong about this issue? When has it been?
This goes back to the late great Jim Kellner.
Yeah.
Jim was, now granted, I will admit that if pineapple is on pizza and I can pick it off and there's just a whiff of pineapple flavor, just a little zing that's very, very subtle, like, I'm not going to object, but I'm not going to order pineapple on my pizza. But Jim was very, very adverse, almost a cult following. I think he was this close to creating the the Church of Jim Kellner, where you sacrificed pineapples for on pizza. But yeah, he was very, very, very much did not. He thought pineapple on pizza was sacrilegious.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I remember that.
Yes.
So it's
And
just
I'm
been
sure
a running. It's just turned into a running joke.
Yeah,
I think one day he started asking guests that, and then we just haven't stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good question.
well,
Yeah.
and you'd be surprised just how divisive it actually is. Like there are some guests that are absolutely staunchly opposed to pineapple on pizza, and then the vast majority, I have to say, is probably pineapple is okay. So
Well,
we're still in the minority camp, but at least we have good pizza.
what would you guys say about anchovies?
Ooh,
What's the prevailing position on anchovies? Also, no, eh? See, I like anchovies.
Not for me. If I'm ordering pizza for somebody that I severely dislike, and I know that it's quite possibly going to stink up their house,
yeah,
all right, I'll go there.
Yeah. So as a weapon, like a weapon,
yeah,
you'll happily select.
I feel guilty going, God, why do we waste a perfectly good pizza?
I will say I've never ordered a pizza with anchovies on it, because pineapple is readily available, which is the superior choice to any other topping, obviously. However, I do like anchovies separate and distinct from pizza. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and I can live with pineapple separate and distinct from pizza as well. That part is okay. Like sweet and sour, that works. With meatballs and certain Asian delicacies, shall we say? Absolutely that works. But like I said, it's just a real fun way to kind of end things off before we jump into the hypnosis portion of the podcast. And everybody that plays along, it's always a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
I will say this though, you talked about weaponized pizza, and so when we were at it would have been Hypnothoughts in 2022 again. Jim was running a pre-conference session called Badass Hypnosis. I think I've got I'm still certified as a hypnotic badass, according to Jim's sticker.
Great.
And anyway, Colin Chapman was one of the guys that was in that group with Scott and company. And Colin has a good sense of humor. And so he actually phoned me, kind of halfway through class. I think we were on lunch break or something like that. I said, Sean, how's it going? Good. He says, I'm trying to get the restaurant to deliver 25 ham and pineapple pizzas to Jim's session. I need your help. You got to help me convince them. And we couldn't actually make it happen, but that was just his sense of humor. It's like, okay, if we're going to do it on scale.
So what was the holdup there? Was it the hotel would not do it?
Yeah, the restaurant wouldn't do it.
Oh, I would have been like, all right, someone's got a rental car. we're gonna DoorDash this stuff.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't, and yeah, they get kind of cranky when you start bringing food from the outside in. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
would have been like, it's going to be paid for.
Yeah, but some of those hotels they have a rule you're not allowed to bring in outside food.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure
Oh no,
the
well, you said the restaurant wouldn't do the
yeah, well,
pizzas on
Saburo or whatever the pizza place was in New Orleans there,
it. Mhm.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
they wouldn't do it. It's good pizza, but not the ham and pineapple stuff, the other stuff, but it was good pizza, but they just wouldn't run it upstairs in quantity to embarrass Jim. So
That would have been great. That was a great
I would have been
idea.
like, can we come pick it up?
Yeah.
Just put it in boxes. I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
yeah, if I would have done that, Jim would have squashed me. It was good enough.
If you had done that, Jim would have laughed his ass off.
Well, I know that's exactly it, and then everybody upset. But it was bad enough that I embarrassed him by giving him that wonderful Canadian toque. I promised to bring him something nice and whatnot, and then I totally forgot about it. And I was on my way running through the airport in where the heck was I? Calgary? No, Vancouver, to catch my flight down. And I thought, oh crap, I forgot a toque. And the only toque I could find was this nice big red and white Canada with the big pom pom on the top and two strings hanging down with pom poms. It was the gaudiest looking Canadian toque ever. But we got it to him, and he actually did wear it on one of the podcasts. And then I think his wife hit it on him because she didn't like the way it looked. So. But yeah, it's those things that you get when you go to a conference. You connect with people, you learn, you take advantage of opportunities when they're published, and you're able to get out there and improve your skills, learn something new, get more clients, do and it's a cycle, and if you work it right, it should be an upward cycle all the time. You should be, getting new people in and. Keep working.
And on that note, it's for the performers, when you build that relationship and cultivate that rapport, they find out where you're at. You'll exchange ideas, probably some like highlight reels and stuff like that. And then when something comes up and it's like, oh, hey, I'm double booked, I've got a conflict, I'm sick, I know this is stupidly short notice, can you help me? All of a sudden, hey, you just booked a show.
Yeah, and that's happened to me actually 3 times this year.
Wow. And the same thing happens when you go, rut-row, my flight got delayed, or there's something that's come up, can you help me? And it may not be them, but it's, hey, I'm booked, but all right, let me make some phone calls, see who's available. We will all sort it out, because we all understand how important it is that when you book something, like, that show needs to happen. You exhaust everything, short of putting somebody on a chartered jet, that show's going to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And I can't believe that you've never thought about doing any stage shows. Especially with any type of hypnosis whatsoever.
Yeah, it was never really something I was interested in. Like, I love speaking from stage. I love working with groups, but performing hypnosis was never really my jam. With the board that I'm a trainer with for clinical hypnosis,
right,
actually part of the certification process is to run a stage show. So I have technically run one stage show in the training context with a live audience. And it went pretty well, but that was the first one and the last one I've done thus far.
No, that's totally fair. I mean, at least you can say you've done it.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I'm not ruling it out. It's just no, I don't think I have that. I don't have the bug yet in me to do it. Yeah.
No, that's wonderful.
It is different because you go through and I'm sure as a presenter you've kind of felt this too. It's like, okay, wow, it's awesome. I got this great gig. Da, 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 da. Oh my god, I got this gig. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get to the gig and it's you get started. You get that first kind of laugh or buy-in, and then you deliver the gig and everything is good. And then after you get the applause, you get off the stage and you think, wow, that went way better than I thought it was. Or hey, I learned like these three things, and it was still a pretty good presentation. And then you do it all over again, and you're back to, hey, I got this gig. Oh, I got this gig.
Yeah.
you know, and you kind of question yourself a little bit sometimes, and you think like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting myself through this roller coaster of emotions all the time? And how do I even it out? You know what? That could be an NLP thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
How's that for a segue?
Yeah. Very, very good segue. And also, making the idea of becoming a performing hypnotist sound more and more attractive by the moment. If only there was a wonderful conference in Las Vegas coming up soon where people could learn and hone their skills as performing hypnotists. You guys aware of anything like that?
Yeah. We're doing. It's year number 3.
Yep.
I'm sorry, year 4 in-person conference number 3. So yeah, Performing Hypnosis Summit's coming up, and
in 44 days.
Yeah, January 23rd through 25th at the Gold Coast Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. So we're going to be right across from the Palms, right next to the Rio, and just down the street. Go over the Interstate 15 freeway, and I think it's Flamingo. I forget if it's Road or Boulevard, but anyway,
West Flamingo Boulevard.
Yeah, so West Flamingo Boulevard. You take it across the freeway, and you split right in between Caesar's Palace and the Bellagio. So we are. I mean, if they would allow you to walk across the bridge, like the overpass that goes over top of 15, you could walk to the Strip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know the area exactly. It's a really good area, like very close to the Strip. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I had enough trouble just trying to get across the street to the pharmacy, the Walgreens.
Oh, the Walgreens over there.
Yeah, it's that's Vegas. Like, it's walking is never ideal. It's just doable, right? But
yeah.
With the heat and the
okay, what's coming? Okay, I think I can make it. Okay, I've got to walk. So I know. Wait, there's a group of people there.
Yeah, but I do want to say the Performing Hypnosis Summit. When I was in Detroit a couple of months ago, Joe Beth, you guys know Joe Beth?
Yeah, I was just talking about it today.
And Grant, they were talking about it, and some of the stuff that they were saying, like, if anybody's watching this and you're on the fence about going to the Performing Hypnosis Summit, I think you should go, because it sounds like a great time. It sounds like you guys are going to be doing stuff that people aren't going to find at other conferences. Like, there's a lot of regional hypnosis conferences, but this one is different. Would you agree?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. What we have this year, I think, is a little more unique. We actually have business people coming in, talk about business. The stuff that everybody wants to shove aside. It's one thing we talked about it. We make money. We're going to make money. We're going to get more clients. We're going to do this. That's great, but that also means that you have more money and you have to be responsible for it. So what do you do? How do you structure it so you can keep the most, the biggest amount of it? Because even in the States, they pay taxes. So, Canada, we pay taxes too, and a lot more than I think people realize. But so how do you structure your business to keep those things? How do you do the different functions that need to be done if you're the solopreneur? So we have that. We have people who've done, like Claude Haggerty and Joe Beth, both are going to be talking about sponsorships and getting those 4-wall shows up and off the ground. Claude's done 11,000 shows across Canada and the United States. And so he's got a system. And actually, I met with him earlier today. He's prepared to demonstrate, that with, using me as a guinea pig, so that there's some testimonial coming into PHS. But the big thing about it is, here's a guy who lived. He was a magician for many, many, many years, and he lived it. He did it, and then things started, changing. And he used to have the big cats like Siegfried and Roy, right? And so those cats obviously moved on, and so on and so forth, and so he kind of reinvented himself, and now he's working with, magicians, coaches, hypnotists, performers, and racing companies. You may think like race car drivers, and you think, well, what's he doing there? The same thing.
Yeah.
and helping them make millions in sponsorship deals. So we've got we've got that, and then we've got some people who just came to the conference for the first time last year that are now going to be talking about their experiences over this last year. Joe Beth was, last year he was the guy. I jumped into this. This is what I've done, and this has been my year. So that was him last year. So coming back on a after 2 years, and just to see that growth. I know he's been over to Portugal and had done one of the oh gosh,
Fringe Festival.
The Fringe Festivals, yes.
Yeah.
And so now we've got wealth of experience. We've got Tommy V talking about his dad's relationship with Ormond McGill. Well, Ormond McGill wrote the book on stage hypnosis. I mean, it's about that thick, but at least it was the last time I looked at it. Here you've got all this wealth of experience, and I think one of our new people said it best. He said, I had a question, and 4 people came up to me with 4 different answers that I could take and act on like right away. And so we aim to please.
Yeah.
Plus, we get to do some really cool things, away from the conference as well.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you got to be there to find out what those cool things are.
Those will remain untelevised. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
But in addition to some wonderful presenters and presentations, there's a wealth of knowledge. We're going to have the leadership kind of roundtable, or the panel. So a lot of question, Q&A, where it's just ask your questions, have a conversation. It's a dialogue. But then we'll also be doing some other extracurricular activities. We'll be seeing a few shows, doing things in places. All of that's optional. If you just want a night to go do and go have a nice dinner somewhere, awesome, go do that. And then some post training or post conference training with Tommy G. Orlando. Certification with the Tom Silver Foundation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's going to be something that we encourage everybody. It's the single day. It's Monday, so that way stay the extra night, get the cheaper flight, and go home on Monday rather than some of the outrageous airfares going out of Seattle Sunday night.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Yeah, and Tommy's really good. I've had the pleasure of meeting Tommy a couple of times now, and he's very good. I'm sure that training is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, so there's just an awful lot of there's going to be time to I tell people, if you can, get in a day or two early, and then
it is Vegas. There's a lot. There's a lot to see and a lot to do.
Stay a couple days afterwards just to kind of woo-saw, and again, it kind of like, so my friend Brent is going to be doing the talk on the advanced business planning, and tax sheltering your money is in.
So, did Brian just freeze, or is it just?
I think it's weekend still.
If you are your, what's that? Oh, if you
froze for a sec, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, tips and tricks. If you've got your own business and everything, whether you're a sole proprietor or LLC, is turn this entire trip. You're already out here. You're already paying for the hotel. If you want to stay a couple of days, have a couple of days of vacation. And then that's a business write-off. And you have to apologize for my dog that's in hypnosis right now. He's doing his sleep apnea things down there, but I'm not sure. I'm hearing him in my headphones. I'm not sure if you're hearing him.
I don't hear him at all.
We're not, but that doesn't mean that that's going to change. If he gets louder, we'll know.
Yeah, it's like about this time we're usually doing, having our guests do a hypnosis, kind of a sampling, short little bit, and he just comes in and lays down and just conks out.
Was that right?
But
it's well trained.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we always put out a little bit of a disclaimer. And if anybody's ever listened to Mike Mandel and Chris on their podcast, when they do the disclaimer, it's a lot more funny than ours is. But ours basically says this: look, what we're going to do here relies on focus. So you need to focus on your circumstances right now. Driving, cooking, chopping vegetables, whatever it is, go do that. You can turn the podcast off. You can come back and you can watch this on YouTube anytime. And still come back and pick up right where you left off. But if you are going to participate, please make sure you're in a safe spot and that you are able to allow yourself to relax and participate. With that in mind, we will turn it over to Ryan, and we will disappear behind the scenes so that we're not distracting anybody. I know how distracting I can be. I was told that today. Shawn, you scared me. What I think was the quote.
Yeah, actually, before you go, Shawn, actually, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to teach and demonstrate a technique. It would be cool if you guys actually stuck around. And
okay, perfect. Yeah. However we can support you.
Yeah.
And before we start, Grant has a comment on TikTok. Some guy named Grant. He says, "Brian, don't blame the dog for your animal noises."
Oh, what a British asshole.
And on that note, Ryan, over to you.
Very good. Yeah. So, I understand that most of your guests probably do, an awesome induction, and I've done a lot of that in the past, but I've got a different idea today. I want to give everybody a tool, and it's one of my favorite tools from NLP that actually was popularized by the late and wonderful Tad James, who happens to be the NLP icon that I look to the most. He actually wrote the curriculum that I studied under and that I'm certified to train. And Tad had a background in Hawaiian Huna. He actually spent many years in Hawaii studying the ancient art of Huna. And one of those things from Huna that he studied was the power of peripheral vision. And so Tad taught us, the trainers that trained under him, as well as all of his students, about a version of Hawaiian hakalau that he called the learning state. And the learning state, have you guys heard of this before? Tad James learning state, Shawn and Brian?
I've heard of Tad James and some of the work that he's done. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
I have not known.
You haven't heard of it.
This is good news for me.
Okay, great. Yeah, maybe some portions of it might be familiar for you, but the power of this, it's called the learning state because we can teach children or adults or anybody to go into a certain state that makes the absorption of information much easier, and then and the retention of information, and then they can return to that state, and it only takes a few seconds to do later on if they want to recall the information. That's why it's called the learning state, but that's not the most powerful use for the learning state. The most powerful use for the learning state is almost instantaneously and very reliably stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system in a human being very quickly, very rapidly. And so we have, as many people know, our sympathetic nervous system, often associated with fight or flight, and our parasympathetic nervous system, most often associated with relaxation, calm, a slowing of the internal monologue. And in my experience, and in the experience of many other NLP trainers, this sort of stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system can be an exit from panic, can be an exit from unpleasant feelings. In fact, it's my go-to for a client who's in an ab reaction or in duress or having a particularly difficult emotional time. We utilize the learning state to get them to neutral. And I've been outside of Canada, I've been in foreign lands. And in one particular example, I was in a foreign land with another military person who suddenly had a panic attack. And we were not on duty. We were just going to a restaurant to meet some other people. And this person, we're just walking down the road, was triggered by something. And they were not NLP trained, I was. And in a matter of moments, I was able to guide them into the learning state, pull them out of the panic attack. And minutes later, we were in a restaurant ordering appetizers. That's how fast it can work.
Wow.
How powerful. Yeah. So this is something I think every hypnotist should have in their toolbox. In fact, every person. And so the way we do it, it's three components. It's eye movement. And I'm going to show you guys. And, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm going to explain it as well as I can, but you can always watch the video replay. Mm-hmm. Eye movement, controlled breathing, and a shift into peripheral awareness. That's actually the key. And I'll explain what that means. When I say a shift into peripheral awareness, right now, if you were looking at me on camera, you would see I'm looking directly into the lens of the camera. My eyes are pointed directly forward. And this is called foveal vision, where my eyes are physically pointed. That's where my foveal vision is. Mm-hmm. Everything that's around and outside of that is in my peripheral vision. And the thing that can move without my eyes physically moving is my awareness. If I'm concentrating on what's in my foveal vision, I'm in my foveal vision. But if my eyes stay exactly where they are and I concentrate on all the stuff that's outside, that's around the edges, like the carpet beneath me, the ceiling above me, the lamp on the other side of the room, the case over there, now I've let my awareness drift into my peripheries. Okay. Does that make sense, Shawn and Brian, so far? Yeah. What I'm saying?
It's almost like you kind of just, someone's telling you something, you're just sort of like kind of drift off a little bit. You're not staring right at them, but it's like you just want to listen.
Yeah. You're starting to understand the mechanism of why this works so well, right? Okay, so the best way to experience it is to experience it. So let's do it. So basically, I'm sitting in a neutral position. This works if you're standing. It also works if you're walking, but it's easier if you're not walking. I'm sitting in a neutral position. My arms are uncrossed. My legs are uncrossed. I'm going to keep my head in a neutral position. My head's not going to move. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a deep breath in as I allow my gaze to go up as high as it comfortably can. And then I'm going to slowly exhale through my mouth and just aim to let my awareness go out into the peripheries as my eyes return to eye level. And I'm going to do it one more time. A deep breath all the way in as my gaze goes as high up as it comfortably can. Mm-hmm. And then a slow exhale out through my mouth as I let my gaze slowly drift back down to eye level and just allow my awareness to go out into the peripheries so that I become aware of what's to my left, what's to my right, what's above me, what's below me, even though my eyes physically are pointed forward. And you can allow your awareness to drift into periphery, audibly as well. And you can do this by noticing the noises that you weren't noticing before. Mm-hmm. You can sense the sound, the humming, the buzz of the world, even outside the room. You can allow your awareness to drift into your periphery kinesthetically as well by noticing the temperature in the room, the sensation of the clothing on your body or the floor beneath you, right? Or noticing whatever you notice. And when you do this once or twice, you've stimulated your parasympathetic nervous system. Did you guys try it while I was describing it?
I was watching and kind of I was watching you do the up and down and then listening to.
Yeah, my eyes don't roll up as much as I'd like them to. So
yeah, it's just as high as they comfortably can go. Everybody's a little different.
Yeah.
Right? When you combine these three, the eye movement, the deep breath, for obvious reasons, especially if the exhale is slower than the inhale. Okay. And allowing the awareness to go into the peripheries will stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah. You guys want to try it now without me describing it?
I just heard Sammy shift. He's like, oh.
The dog's already there long ago.
Yeah. So, a question on the parasympathetic stuff.
Sure, yeah. Go for it.
Non-hypnosis related, more motorcycle. So I've watched people, and I've kind of done it myself. You're riding, and then you go, oh, there's something up ahead. Immediately left hand, squeeze the clutch. But then that sympathetic on the opposite side is you grab a handful of front brake on the right, lock up the front tire, handlebars cross, tire skids out from under you, you get introduced to the earth involuntarily, and that usually leads to a spontaneous dismount.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that kind of the same thing, but like the motor skills version of it?
No. So you're talking about the sympathetic squeeze, which I'm very aware of. It's, it's related to your nervous system, but it's not like sympathetic versus parasympathetic. Yeah. All has to do with like internal. It's not going to connect to your motor skills. The sympathetic squeeze, though, is a very real observable phenomenon where if you're basically, we see it most if a person's in duress, where like what movement is weighed with one half of the hemisphere, the other hemisphere mirrors. And this is why it's very dangerous, for example, in law enforcement, to hold a taser and a pistol at the same time. Because if you're in a high duress situation, you feel like you're pulling the trigger on the taser and you fire both, right? That's the exact same thing you're describing.
Or you get them crossed up.
Or you get them crossed up. Or another one is you're holding your sidearm in your hand and you go to grab the guy by the shoulder. So you squeeze hard with one hand, your other hand squeezes down on the trigger and fires. Yeah. This has resulted in grievous injury, right? And this is how we learned about the sympathetic squeeze. So same thing with a motorcycle rider. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but not, I would say not necessarily related, other than the word, it's a coincidence.
So when you put your eyes up and then you bring them back down, is it almost like you're trying to have your eye not cross, but have your eyes, or are you just...
No, the eyes just go, you're working too hard if you're trying to let that happen. The eyes are just coming back down. What's happening there is when we bring our eyes up, what we discover is it moves our brainwave frequency into the alpha state.
Okay.
Just from keeping the head fixed and the eyes going up, which begins to cause that process of relaxation. That's why some hypnosis inductions involve the same movement, putting the eyes up. Some of them involve like trying to blink at the same time. I don't really like that because it's kind of a pain in the butt.
So are you kind of trying to shift your, like the depth of your focus? Like let them come down, and it's almost like you want to look beyond the person that's in front of you, where it's just sort of like, okay, they're out of focus.
Yeah.
They're there, but they're not.
Some people call it softening the focus.
Okay.
Softening the focus or defocus. But really it's inside your head. It's letting the awareness go out, right? It's not so much with the eyes once you've got them up and back down. It's the awareness is the key part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was working through it, hey Scott, that's why you want to hold the pendulum exactly, because that holding the pendulum above eye level creates, it creates some fatigue in the eye as well. So it works in your favor as a hypnotist as well. But for me, when I was trying it the second time, you were working through it, and you mentioned, okay, now listen to the sounds that are around you. Well, immediately I picked up the fan off my laptop because I tend to try and drown it out, especially during the podcast, because this machine is working overtime to try and keep up with two different screens, and I'd really love to have a third on here as well, so I could get the rest of the stuff I need without having to move stuff around during the podcast. There's a hum in my house because of course the furnace is on and it's circulating air, so you can kind of hear that in the background.
Don't
You know,
don't you
again,
don't you blame your bodily functions on household
those are
appliances?
sounds that you want to drown out most of the time, but then you start noticing them when you relax, right? Um, you start picking up different things, and for me, my peripheral vision has actually always been pretty good. So for me, I can see, I know the printer is over here. I know that I've got a shelf over here with all kinds of stuff that is really, it's really kind of messy and needs to be cleaned up. And beyond the screen here, I see, my American International School of Hypnosis, hypnotherapy certifications, and Jim's badass hypnotist stamp of approval, uh, for lack of a better term. And I noticed the light is up there, so and
Yeah.
it's dimmer than it usually is because I bought the wrong style of light bulb. I didn't buy the daytime light bulb. I bought the one that has the little yellow coating on it, slightly golden amber hue, and it's like, and it totally deflates the light in this room because it does. But these are all things that you often pick up and you notice because now you're relaxing and you're starting to think about it.
Mistakes were made.
It's okay. It's just a light bulb. I can get another one.
It sounds like you really went there though, though, Shawn. So but you mentioned the word relax, but did you notice the sensation of just that, the calm coming over you?
Yeah, and I can apply this to the classroom as well. In a classroom, when you have a bunch of behaviors all going at the same time, this would be something that would be fairly easy for a student of grade, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there. You would be able to demonstrate this and have them work through it and hopefully reset. Especially after a day like say the day after Halloween when they're hopped up on sugar, or Halloween day, or the day before Christmas holidays. It's like, okay, no, reset. We still have some things that we're going to do. You need to focus on the Christmas concert. You're not done yet. But anytime that you can sense that class starting to kind of go south, you could use this kind of a technique very easily to bring them all back, and it's a skill that they can take with them after your class is long forgotten. So
Actually, Tad used to go into the schools and teach this to students, and what they saw was when students used the learning state to study for tests, it was an average of 1 letter grade improvement for any student that actually reported using this when they study and when they take the test, which is huge. 1 letter grade is like C students went to B students just by adding this and changing nothing else in their study habits. Really cool.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right, I got my work cut out for me. I just have 2 years before I retire. Well, 1 year officially, but
cool.
Right.
2 years. I think I can teach. I can teach 6,000 students that technique in 2 years.
Please do. Yeah. What do you teach, Shawn?
So I'm actually a digital learning consultant. So I work at a central office on everything digital with the teachers and the students, including esports, Minecraft, all the gaming kind of. I have the coolest job in the school division, in my opinion, because all the coding stuff, the robots and kids trying to make things go and they're not going the way they just you want to see people get frustrated really quickly, just give the kids a robot and let them figure it out. It could take them a couple of days, but when they do, man, can they make that thing actually do exactly what you need it to. In esports, we had a couple of teams compete at the national level this past weekend and in a tournament. We didn't win, but we got close, quarterfinals and semifinals. So
awesome, cool.
In a first appearance, that's pretty damn good. So
I'd take that.
Yep. Yeah. Nothing to be ashamed of by any stretch of the imagination. They play ball. So
yeah.
And I got a chance to see what Rocket League is really kind of like, and it's like, I don't understand how you guys can follow this, and even with the announcer, I don't know if I can it's like soccer on steroids. But anyway, so yeah, I to me, I have the coolest job. It'll be tough to leave when it's time, but there are of course other things that need to get done in my life. So and lots more hypnosis and training and all that good stuff to come.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Awesome.
I
All
love
right. So we should recap here, which means more than just put the cap back on the Diet Coke. We should recap.
Sean's ode to Sean Farquhar.
There we go. You gotta. Well, hey, us Sean's, we do have a sense of humor, and actually,
Let's recap. Deja vu.
yeah. You've seen that before.
Yeah. He did very well on Penn and Teller's Fool Us.
Oh yes, yeah. He's excellent at what he does. But once again, for the Hypnosis Hero special, the boot camp special and bonus, ryanmontis.com/hero. You can catch Ryan Montis at ryanmontis.com or Facebook or any of the other socials that he is on, and make sure you take advantage of the wealth of knowledge that Ryan has, because he's worked hard to learn everything, and just following his story all the way through, starting out from being that shy guy. And I know what that's like, because that was me too in high school. I worked a job because I had to. It wasn't that I wanted to be around people as much, but that's a different story. But it just following through, and then going from private detective to armed forces to trainer, and learning everything that you've learned. There is a wealth of knowledge there. There are some different experiences, and sometimes that different experience will make the difference for you. Ryan may pick up on something that the other coaches and therapists may not. So, and be able to help you with it. So, with that in mind, by all means, make sure you jump in, grab the special. Ryan, thank you so much for spending some time with us. And yeah, any last words before we end it off?
So, again, thank you so much for the invite. This has been a lot of fun. You guys create a good time here. So thanks for letting me be part of it. I really appreciate it. I know Jim started this podcast a while back. I consider myself very lucky. I actually met Jim only a couple of months before he very unfortunately passed away, and I'm glad I did have at least that one opportunity. And it's lovely to see that his legacy is continuing on. You guys are carrying the torch, so thank you for doing that. I think you have something to be very proud of here. And again, thanks for letting me be part of it.
No, we appreciate you coming on, and then also our sincere thanks for your very, very generous offer of creating that link. I'll go back and watch the video that's on there.
Sure.
And like I said, not needed, but very, very grateful that you're able to put that together. So it does mean a lot. Again, going into the holiday season, this is that time for giving. So you're giving to us. We're trying to give back to all of our viewers and people that follow us. So thank you for that.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. And one last thing, folks, I'm very reachable. If you have questions, you want to chat, you want to be friends, whatever, follow me on Instagram, shoot me a message, let's chat. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sounds good. All right. Well, on behalf of Brian and Ryan, take care, stay well, and be awesome. Good night, everybody.
Stay free.